Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are checking out chapters 28 and 29 of Tower of God Season 2, and we got back into the story following along Bomb and all of the stuff that's been going on with him, kind of just settling back into the world a lot, but more importantly, getting into some of the stuff with Foog, which we haven't fully explored, because Bomb hasn't actually talked about it. He doesn't really talk all that much actually, but he hasn't like explained any of what his involvement with Foog is or opinions on that. It's just been like what other people have heard and have decided to talk about, with the exception of Love, who actually has had interactions with Foog in a negative way. So we've heard lots of people talking about how Foog is like this really kind of scary, ominous, menacing force that people like know of, but not many people have actually interacted with them. And then having Bomb be a member of it is like this big thing, and people are scared of him because they believe the stories and that kind of a thing. But we also got reintroduced to Hwarang, who was in the previous ones, who was like kind of the only person that Bomb had previously. And then we got introduced to a new member of Foog who I don't trust. He seems scary, and he does that thing where he switches really quickly from like being scary and then being like really smiley and jovial and stuff. And we had Hran talking about how they were lucky, like Wangnan and the others were lucky that he didn't try to kill them. So he seems scary, but we ended off with him going up onto the rooftop to talk to Bomb and like referring to him as Bomb the Irregular, which is something that has not happened by anyone up to this point. So I'm kind of hoping for some backstory where we can go back to where Bomb was at like the end of the previous season and maybe kind of get some context for at least some of what he's been doing, but we'll probably have to find out where exactly we're going to line up with that story. So with that, let's get into chapter 28. Okay, chapter 28, hopefully without a giggle fit. I feel like my vibe isn't matching what this is gonna be. I feel like this might be a bit somber and I'm like in a weird mood, so we'll see how these contrast with each other. Okay, yes, there's the boy. Are we gonna get some actual backstory? Right, we had some people not in Foog who were not quite happy about Bomb's choice in teammates. Interesting that now we have his eyes blocked again as we're like starting to talk about like his teammates. So there's that like barrier, but also like talking about Foog. It's like in that moment where he was being called Bomb, you could like fully see him because that's like who he truly is. And then as soon as people start to put these other names to him, like he's Violet for his teammates, I assume that he's probably a mixture of things in Foog, depending on who needs to know what's going on. But even like putting the name Foog onto him, you know, these are all names and personas that people push onto him, but that's not actually who he is. Have you wished for? I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe you wish him to be happy. I don't know how much I believe anything he has to say. I feel like their relationship is interesting though, because like I believe in some ways that he might feel like he's pushing Bomb to do something that he doesn't want to do, because I think it's pretty clear that Bomb is like not the most confrontational person, and to be in a group like Foog, I feel like would put him in a lot of situations that he's not the most comfortable with. But also there's no one else, right? Like the whole point of no one who is like a resident of the tower can defeat but the king, right? So Bomb is like the only person who's like isn't a resident of the tower who has that ability. Yes, I was thinking maybe Rachel, but Rachel was like technically invited. We've had conversations about this. Bomb's like the one who like forced his way in, so he's an exception. So he kind of is the only person who can do it, so they have to force him to be part of this conflict regardless of how they feel about him personally. Jihad, oh my god, okay, I got there. I also have a lot of sugar in my system, so I apologize for what this is gonna be. It's exhaustion and sugar. Oh, this is them finding out that he's an irregular. I forget that like not everybody is on the same page anymore because it's not his old team, so they don't know all of the things. Yeah, he's an irregular. He's also like really scary sometimes. You haven't fully seen it. I guess they're better prepared to think that he's scary with the whole Foog thing than his original teammates that were just like, this cinnamon bun is really scary. Him? I mean, probably. I feel like that might be his role in all of this. It's certainly why people seem to be very scared of him, or at least cautious about him. Yeah, I can totally get Bomb feeling a sense of like duty with being the only person who can go up against Jihad, that he would feel compelled that he has to. But I think in lots of other ways, he could also feel like Jihad is responsible for the way that Rachel is treating him, because I feel like this is all coming back to obviously the betrayal with Rachel and how she's such an important part of his life and he doesn't really know what to do now that she's not part of it. And I feel like a lot of what she's doing is because of how Jihad has promised her things and manipulated some of the people around her. So I feel like maybe he could pull on that and justify some of its actions, but I feel like mostly it's just people saying like, you're the only one who can do this. And Jihad has done like a bunch of awful things to people, and I can feel him feeling obligated to do that, even if it's not because he has any personal connection to it, just because if he's the only one, then he would be like, okay, you know, like, I guess I have to. Ooh, that too. I guess they could also blackmail him. I don't see that being like outside of their toolkit for how to manipulate people, so I guess that is also true. Does it have to do with Rachel? Maybe it's some of the other friends. I feel like we're gonna reveal it and I kind of want to guess because Rachel's with Kun. It could be someone else. Who haven't we accounted for? Is this like a flashback? Because this is an older outfit. Oh, hello, Hung Sung. What are you up to? Is he pouting? I'm assuming this is like right after what happened with Rachel and he would be like going through a lot. That is true. They got the rings. Yes, I remember, but thank you for reminding me because I would not have pulled that information out of my head on my own. Ooh, I guess that is a way to blackmail him though. I was thinking, I'm like, who do they have control over? So like having Hung Sung know exactly where all of his friends are at any given time? Yeah, that would be a motivator. Oh boy, there's some layers to everything going on. Does that mean that Hung Sung is mixed up with Foog then? I feel like I did not know that before now. I feel like it took a second for that to sink in. So we had the other person who was in charge of like the last floor, the 20th floor, who also had connections to Foog, and then Hung Sung. I can kind of see Hung Sung being part of this though, because we had all of that conflict before with gosh, I'm trying to remember all of the names now. My brain is not in a place to remember names. The other like instructor that had the like goat costume. What was his name? Doesn't matter.
Didn't like him.
He got squished. Not entirely, but his little like stand-in got squished. They had a whole conflict between them because he worked directly with Jihad and then Hung Sung was very antagonistic to that. I also feel like this is very Hung Sung. Hung Sung's a scary person and I don't forget that whole scene where he like, what did he do to that person's body? Like the one regular's body where he like twisted it or like made them feel a bunch of pain or something. I remember that. I would not expect empty threats from Hung Sung. I really do kind of appreciate that this is threatening with all of them and not just Rachel. I feel like that was kind of the pressure point that we're going for here. But if this was just to protect Rachel still, I'd be so mad at Bomb. Like I'd be ready to like actually scold him. I know that he's sweetie pie deep down and I want to be compassionate, but if this was all just for Rachel, I'd have to scold him. Like we'd have to have words, Bomb, because that is ridiculous. So at least this is all of the friends. I can understand being upset about all of them. Shifting the blame. Again, that was kind of what I was thinking of, whether or not Bomb would feel like some of the blame was with other people, like manipulating Rachel, which is part of it, but she also made decisions. So I'm not quite sure where he falls in all of that, if he like puts all of the blame on what happened to her, or if he thinks that some of it falls on other people who are also involved. She did. Decisions were made and it was not good. She's gonna get what's coming to her though. I can feel Kun like brewing up something good. Can't wait till we get back to it. Oof. Does the garbage at the top of the tower is more important than you? Sure, Hung Sung, just hit him while he's down. Did Hung Sung have something to do with Bomb's training? Because that would be kind of interesting, but also I feel like not the most pleasant experience. Oh no, is that his friends list? That's so sad. There are people that just aren't going up the tower anymore. My brain is just like remembering things. I feel like because we had Hwarun going to see Hung Sung, that I did know that there was some kind of connection, but it was because I knew that there was a connection between those two, but I didn't know that the connection was Foog. Trying to remember all the way back. Yeah, I don't know. Was the surprise that Foog is threatening someone's entire friend group? Or if the surprise is that Bomb has an entire friend group that he cares about enough to be going through all of this just to protect them. Because that is not what Wang Nan has seen up to this point. He's seen someone who is completely isolated and doesn't seem to like emote about anything going on. So for Bomb to be someone who has a group of friends and is willing to do basically anything to protect them might be more of a surprise than Foog is like not very nice and will threaten people to get what they want. Ooh. Pretty. I like pretty colors, so I'm just like, ooh, light colors. So they do have roommates. Hi, teddy bear. Haven't seen you yet. We haven't. What's he been up to? Oof, that's awkward to have him just like there, be like, this fine, it's just Foog hanging out in our house. Just sleep soundly while that's going on, it's probably fine. Ooh, I'm just thinking too of like how we had Lurker using Nya before as a bargaining chip for Wangnan, like manipulating him, and then Nya ended up dying. So like for Wangnan to see someone whose friends are being leveraged and threatened in order to manipulate them probably hits a sore spot. But again, it's bringing those similarities that I said before that Wangnan and Bam have. There's a lot of things about them that are similar, and I feel like that's what is going to pull them together and make them like a really good team, even though they have very different like personalities in a lot of ways. At least now I feel like Wangnan has a lot of what Bam was earlier, except like a little bit more experience, right? Like Wangnan is kind of what Bam would have been if Rachel hadn't betrayed him. Like if he had continued with his friends and seen a lot of things and had to grow up a lot really quickly, as opposed to like being completely isolated and betrayed and training with Foog, where he probably had to turn off a lot of his emotions and stuff like that. So I feel like this is going to just make Wangnan and Bam more likely to like bond and feel that connection, the similarities that they have with each other. I mean, honestly not the most shocking thing that they've done. I'm not as shocked as you are. Seems about right. That's the whole thing too. I was saying like Bam's the only person who could, so it makes him very much a bargaining chip for everyone else. Bam has been used by a lot of people this whole time. Like I was like, as soon as he came to the tower, but I'm like, no, he was just like locked up for whatever reason earlier on and was just like with Rachel. Like Rachel was just coming to visit him for whatever reason, and she was like not all of that connected or empathetic to him. He's just had a lot of people like maneuver him to get what they want. I feel like also, like, was he locked up because this was the plan? Because now we've got people like Hung Sung involved, and Hung Sung I feel like is always really far ahead of me in lots of things. So was Bam locked up by Foog for this purpose? Is that part of why Rachel was with him, is like a way of pulling him into the tower? Because I've been wondering this whole time, I'm like, why is he just in that like prison, and why doesn't he have any memories? Was it all an elaborate plan the whole time? I feel like I need to not think about this so much. Focus on what is happening now. Interesting to bring up justice, which is like a big thing that Wangnan is kind of pulling on for his motivation, is wanting to feel like there's some kind of actual justice and everything that's going on. We just still hanging out here? I don't know if I would want to sleep in the house with Foog members either, especially if you know what they're capable of, which Bam does, so I would also be on edge to just be like in the same house as them. And we're gonna have a heart-to-heart. I feel like y'all haven't talked much since the end of the 20th floor test. Things were a little bit intense, everyone was feeling a lot of things. I like how Wangnan's just like being chatty, and then Bam's like greeted him, which honestly is a step in the right direction. Bam is usually just stood there and may or may not acknowledge that other people exist. I also feel like this is a good moment because like Wangnan can empathize with Bam, like not only because their stories have similarities between them, but like knowing that Bam isn't just a heartless person who has joined Foog because he enjoys like the violence or the criminality of it, or even just like has this deep hatred for jihad, and that's what's fueling him. Like what's fueling him is that he cares about his friends and he wants them to be safe, and that's a very different motivator than I want revenge for like some injustice that I feel like I deserve something for what has been done to me. It makes it a lot easier for Wangnan to empathize with him, and to like it makes him understand the isolation, like why Bam is so keen on pushing people away. Like I said before, it was probably like not wanting to be betrayed, but it could also be that he doesn't want to show Foog that there are other people that they can use to leverage him. Yeah, see, people were like, he's the most evil person, or like, you know, like he's the most evil thing in the tower and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know if evil is the right word. I wouldn't say that he isn't the most dangerous, because he probably is if he could go like toe-to-toe with jihad and possibly win, or at least that's like the goal. That he probably is one of the most dangerous. Aww. I love how he says like, you're an amazingly good guy, and then we see part of Bam's face revealed again, like he's showing more of himself in this moment. Oh, I like that if I were your friend too. It's like kind of that olive branch of like, why not saying I want to be your friend, I could be your friend, but it's like you need both people to like contribute to a friendship in order for it to actually be a friendship. I like that little moment of like them kind of bonding together, but also like Wang Nan not forcing anything on him because he knows how difficult the situation is. So it's one of those things where he's like letting Bam have his boundaries, but also saying, here's my perspective, here's where I'm coming from. Aww, there's something very sweet about this. Be friends. Even if Bam's gonna be moody like the whole time, he'll get better. I'm sure he'll get better. Not to who he was before, but he'll come out. He's a huge dork underneath all of that brooding. Hello, are you also gonna make friends? Even though he knocked you out last time? You were acting up, okay? You followed him, tracked him, and then started yelling at him because he was, like, meeting up with Foog members. He probably saved your life, so, like, maybe just, I was gonna say chill, but for someone who literally catches on fire, that might not be possible, but, like, deep breaths. No, I think she's just come to terms with the fact that maybe she needs to be nice to Bam, because it's, like, a good thing for her to be around someone who can, like, manage her abilities. But look, there's, like, 2 friends. Look at you go, Bam. 2 friends in 1 day. Well, like a friend and a half, maybe. Are we just spying? That's not creepy. I don't like that. Oh, was someone else lurking around? Why? Everybody just... Oh, okay. Hi. Ooh. I definitely feel like I should know who Karaka is. Just gonna end on people weirdly sitting on rooftops spying on people. Okay. Test. Woo. Sweet and sour team. I mean, accurate. Aww, teddy bear got a gift. Little face on it. Is it a teddy bear? Cute. That would be me, honestly. I would be like, I will make you a teddy bear for real. Misang just like, I have the snacks again. Oh, wonder what the test's gonna be. Okay, next chapter. Okay, chapter 29. I'm assuming we're staying with Bam and friends. Yes, for their test. Oh, hello, his little teddy bear on his shirt. Look at them all trying to be like super like serious, focused, and there's just a little bear with whiskers. I love it. I'd rather have Rock though. I'm just putting it out there. I want to know what he's up to. How's he doing? Hello, Noma. Yes, where is the rival team? Is there a problem with the team? I guess they do have a Foog member, which would make people apprehensive to go up against them, wouldn't it? I mean, because they said they spent a bit of time on the 21st floor too, so I guess, like, and people have heard about Violet, with, like, the rumors too of that the other guy was spreading to, like, impersonate him, so I'm sure that people would make themselves scarce instead of, you know, because they can try again, right? If you have the resources to just try a test again, then, like, why not choose one where you might actually pass? What's the alternative? Ooh! Is Misang on Bam's shoulders? Like actual water. That is like not something we see a lot of in this. It's just a lot of like creatures that are aquatic, but they're just kind of using the Shinsu and stuff. The actual sea. Misang is on Bam's shoulders. Look, they made friends. That's another friend, Bam. Look at you go. It's cute though. Because you know that Bam would have done it like even earlier on, but everyone was just too afraid to ask, and then there's like Misang who just like doesn't have that like aversion to it. Like there's certain people where she's like, I don't trust you, but Bam passed the vibe check. Do we have the brooding ones that don't like being in the sun or by the water? Because same. Beaches are like literally the worst thing for me. I know, probably controversial, but I dislike the sun, I dislike the heat, I dislike sand, I dislike crowds. It's a lot of things that I don't like. I don't like seagulls. Because one stole a piece of cheese straight out of my hand. I was holding it. I'm gonna have so many giggles in this, but I was holding this piece of cheese and I was about to eat it, and a seagull flew down and took it out of my hand, and I've never forgiven. So I don't like beaches. That's my story. I feel like this is gonna turn though. Right now it seems a bit like a beach episode, but I feel like it's gonna turn very quickly into like what the test actually is. The side eye though. Okay, but like why is he my spirit animal? Of like the dark clothing, escaping the sun, big ol' softy, the aesthetic, like his since day one, I'm like, the style, I'm here for it. Nice. I like the whole matching shirt and looks like a swimming cap. Like how he's throwing Prince into the air. I'm sure you'll know it when you see it. Oh, or hit it. That could also be a possibility. Oh, that's ominous. Oh, yeah, no, you would not miss that. Pretty obvious where the arena is. Ooh, it's a creature. Hello. Are you friend or foe? Could go either way. I hope your friend. The flower of Sigedna? So I'm guessing that's the test, since this is that. I don't know what that is, but again, is friend. Okay, mystical creature. I'm sorry. What is it with having to go inside the giant scary creature for these tests? Why can't it just be like giving head pats, belly rubs? These are also possibilities, but no, we have to keep going inside of creatures. I like how they're with me on this. Bob's just like, here we go again. I mean, I get being angry. I wouldn't want someone to just like invade my space either. Regulars coming up, doing their tests, and you're just trying to live your life. Just leave them on like a little dinghy. Like, good luck. Okay. How do you find that out? That's my question. How do you find out that a jewel only grows inside of some mystical creature? Like, is this a Jonah and the whale situation and it just like worked out, you survived and were able to like show people that this was a thing? I just feel like there's a story there of like how this was discovered. I feel like I shouldn't be surprised that they're just flowers that can grow jewels because of all the weird stuff that is in this world. I guess I was kind of like seeing the flowers as just like tropical in his outfit, but I feel like it also just fits with the vibe of what's going on. I get how that would be valuable. Small supply. Because, I mean, how many casualties are there with people trying to get these jewels? Do they just tie Misang to Wangnan? I love how CU decides to put Misang in some of these panels. It's amazing. What do you mean, how can they make regular? I'm assuming it's an extremely dangerous job with not a lot of people volunteering to do it. Of course they're gonna make regulars do it for a test. It's like free labor. Makes sense to me. Fun. I don't feel like being eaten by a creature voluntarily is my idea of fun, but you do you. Ooh, I guess there could be like a whole ecosystem inside too. I don't want to worry about that. That's one way to get in, I guess. Alternative to being eaten. Fair enough. My brain is so weird today that I was thinking, because it's blowhole, right? Does that mean that like if something big enough would it sneeze? I don't know how blowholes work. On account of not having one. But is sneezing an issue? Just things that I ponder. Oh, it was Gosen that they were dragging up. Ah, so that's the plan. Have it flip and then get the boat in through the blowhole. I'm assuming that's the plan. Oh, or we have two. Okay. Wouldn't it get water? I guess there could be a mechanism to block the blowhole that's like wherever it's underneath the water. But then couldn't they worry that they wouldn't be able to get in? I guess like if maybe it'll open up if it's in the air, and that's why they're waiting for it to like roll. This is not biology that I know well. I'm not good at biology anyway. Okay, 30 minutes, so at least there's some regularity to it. Do they know which way it's gonna roll? Their boat is kind of close. And that's what I was thinking, like, you're too late or too early, then I feel like this could go wrong very quickly. Oh no, that seems ominously set up given the current warning that this might affect their lives. Cool. I feel like this might just make it more broken. Yeah, maybe don't put fire next to the engine. Faces. Guys, maybe fight later. At the moment, how do you move the boat? Bomb, you got anything up your sleeve? Any Shinsu tactics we've picked up over the years to propel us through water? Maybe. I mean, oh no, Prince. I mean, he was around when they made the, like, bubble of Shinsu last time we were trying to get inside of a creature underwater. So he might figure that one out. Bubble of safety seems like a good idea. What happened? So they're inside? Good. I just realized that it was good that they were inside of a creature. Series is weird sometimes. They'll figure it out. It's probably fine. Guys, the flower. No? Okay. Oh, hello? Who are you? Why are you here? Feel like I should know this symbol. Wasn't there a great house symbol that had a wing? Definitely feel like I know this and I've seen it somewhere before and I just can't pull the memory out. Bit of an ominous end there at the end of the chapter. But we had like two mysterious people introduced. We had the one that was on the rooftop and then the one that's in the creature. One that we like seem to be connected to Foog in some way, maybe, or at least they know about them. And then this one seems a little bit more mysterious, like the wings. I definitely know that. I feel like people are gonna like come at me with the comments, but I know that symbol from somewhere. I feel like a lot of this though, I don't have much thoughts to pull out in terms of like things that I feel like I need to pull apart more, because I feel like a lot of it was establishing this next test and kind of Again, weirdly like bookending the previous part and then moving on to the next one. So just sort of setting up that there is this test and that they've just completely missed that the flower's like right there. So sure, that'll be fun for them to go through all of this only to realize that they missed it. But I assume that we're going to be dealing with whoever this person is that is also inside of the people just like live in the creature, or they got left behind maybe, because if you're like in the middle of the sea, it's probably better to be like sheltered in some way than just like treading water or out in the elements. I feel like there's probably like other creatures, other things, if you can just like casually be inside of this creature. No, it's weirder the more I think about it. The more that I say it, the weirder it is. But setting up the next test, Bomb seems to be integrating more into this team and they seem to be more trusting of him, at least some of them. That's good, even though he's a little bit on edge because Foog is around and his friends are being threatened and that kind of a thing. But I think they'll figure out a way to work well as a team, even though they're separated right now, that it's going to help them kind of pull together and see what they're actually capable of as like a full team. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage to work together as the like sweet and sour team. I mean, honestly, accurate. Sweet and sour does seem to be where they're at. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you don't miss the next time I post a Tower of God reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!